Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Rowena, Lead Communications Analyst at Health Workforce Development. We're excited that you've joined us today for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program informational webinar. Before we begin, I want to make sure that everyone knows who this webinar is for. I'll go ahead and advance the slides there. Today's webinar is focused on our Wellness Coach Scholarship Program, which is available to students seeking scholarships to start or continue their associate or bachelor's degree in social work, human services, or addiction studies. We have funds available to support more than 1,000 scholarships, so we highly encourage you to apply if you meet the qualifications, and we'll be going over those today. For those who already have a degree, you may already be eligible to become a certified wellness coach, and we would love you to go to www.cawellnesscoach.org, where you can find more information on the program. And if you look in the grant guide, you can find a more detailed list of the eligible degrees on page 4. And so if that is you, please go ahead and check that out. If you are looking for the scholarship, you're in the right place. And here's the agenda for today. We're going to go through some housekeeping items, and then I will be introducing Dr. Sharmil Shah to do the welcome and overview of the program. From there, Christian Jones will be doing the Certified Wellness Coaches services, describing everything that's going on with that. And then Luke Ennis will be doing the scholarship program elements, application process, and evaluation. And then at the end of the webinar, we will have time for a question and answer session. And we will be opening the chat up for everybody to answer questions that they have regarding the scholarship program. We do ask that if you have questions about the wellness coaches certification process and all of those other things, that you connect with us through email, and we'd be happy to help you out there. And then at the end of the webinar today, Dr. Sharmil Shah will close us out with some closing thoughts. Lastly, before we begin, I'd like to discuss a few housekeeping items. Number one, today's webinar is hosted in Microsoft Teams. If you are not familiar with the platform, you can find the camera, microphone, chat, and view controls in the menu bar at the top of your screen. Number two, the chat option will be open for asking questions during the Q&A session, which is at the end of this webinar. And number three, the webinar will be recorded, and we will be making that available within 7 to 10 business days, posted on our website, and we will also email it out to those who have registered for the webinar. And with that, I am thrilled to introduce Dr. Sharmil Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program informational webinar, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you. As you all already know, youth in our communities are struggling with mental health challenges, and the need for prevention-related behavioral health services has never been more crucial as it is today. Children and youth have inadequate and inequitable access to the behavioral health care they need, and we are proud to introduce this new profession that we believe will help address these challenges and be the upstream solution our youth so desperately need. This profession is funded by the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, whose goal is to transform the systems that support behavioral health and wellness to promote well-being for all children, youth, and families. This includes preventing and addressing emerging and existing mental, emotional, and behavioral health challenges, including substance use issues and wellness. The Wellness Coach model that you're going to hear about today, designed by HCAI, focuses on building a public behavioral health workforce that better represents the diversity of California's children and youth. You, as potential applicants, are best suited to help us meet these workforce gaps, which will contribute to helping children and youth across our state by increasing the state's overall capacity to support the growing behavioral health needs of our youth. Your participation will also help us build a larger and more diverse and representative behavioral health workforce in California. Next slide, please. Before we get into the specifics, I wanted to kind of ground us a bit in HCAI's mission. HCAI expands equitable access to quality, affordable health care for all Californians through resilient facilities, actionable information, which is contributed by our data work, and the needs and the health workforce needs each community needs. Sorry, I said that twice, but this is our mission, and the work and the wellness coach work really represents that mission. Next slide, please. So why wellness coaches? Why now? I think I indicated in the beginning of my remarks that youth in our communities are really struggling. And the data currently points to 1 in 4 adolescents who suffer from depression and anxiety. And despite a growing need for skilled behavioral health professionals, we still have an inadequate supply of workers to keep up with the demand. And so California has determined that we need to expand this workforce to better address these unmet needs of its diverse communities. So again, we are creating a behavioral health workforce that provides behavioral health prevention and early intervention services that will hopefully support and help children and youth before they need clinical services. Next slide, please. So I'd like to share one of our videos that on wellness coaches. Thank you, Chris, for sharing that. Yes, yes, please give all of your reactions. That is one of our very most inspirational videos on the wellness coach. But let me just ground us a bit in what a wellness coach is. So, what is a certified wellness coach? It's a kind of behavioral health profession that the state has created through the work that we've done to serve the needs of children and youth. And this profession is going to provide behavioral health support to children where they are, which is mostly in our school settings. For the most part, they spend probably a good, 90% of their time in a school setting. What does a certified wellness coach do? They teach people about staying healthy and help with behavioral health and wellness programs. They help them with social and emotional needs and connect them with the right help when needed. They also will offer one-on-one and group support to promote overall wellness and behavioral health. Again, just reminding everybody that this is an upstream solution to hopefully avoid more serious behavioral health problems in the future. So, of course, to learn more about being a certified wellness coach, you can visit the link that we have on this slide. And for this video, we're very excited to present one of our first certified wellness coaches. And so she's going to share a little bit about her experience. Thank you. We are so very lucky to have Desiana as one of our first certified wellness coaches. And yes, you could be one of those. So to kind of close up here for me, I wanted to kind of go through the path to becoming a certified wellness coach and kind of give some clarity around kind of how you can actually be on your way. This slide shows the path to becoming a certified wellness coach, and we're going to walk through this to help you visualize where you are in this path. So the first step is to attend college and pursue a qualifying associate's or bachelor's degree, which we will go through in more detail in future slides. If this is where you are currently in your journey, then you are in the right place. You may be eligible to apply for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. The application is linked here on this slide by the star. As a note, the scholarship is not a required part of the pathway to becoming a certified wellness coach. But if you do need financial support, then we of course encourage you to apply. The next step is to graduate from your approved degree. Once you have graduated, you can then apply for certification. This is a free online process, and the application for certification is also linked in this slide as well. If you already have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in social work, human services, or addiction studies, you should proceed to the certification application. The scholarship opportunity is not part of getting certified if you already have a degree. And then the last step, of course, is to find employment. Certification does not guarantee employment, but HCAI will be offering resources via LinkedIn to help connect certified coaches to employers. So just wanted to kind of clarify the path. And I do see some people's hands up. There will be an opportunity for Q&A, so please save your question or drop it in the chat. Next slide, please. So again, I welcome all of you. So excited that you're here with us to learn more about the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. And I would like to now turn it over to Christian Jones, who will talk more about the Wellness Coach services. Thank you, everyone.
Howdy, friends. I'm Christian Jones. I'm a state health policy analyst here at HCAI. And I'm going to walk through what exactly you would do as a wellness coach. What does this job actually do? So here on this slide, we have listed our 6 core services. And I'm going to go into detail on the next couple of slides into each one of those. But here I want to stop and talk about these additional competencies. So first, we want to be able to handle these sorts of students that are from all these cultural backgrounds, from all of these different places. And to do that, we need coaches that are culturally responsive, they have cultural humility, and they're able to mitigate their implicit bias that they have from having only one perspective in the world, just like all of us have. Second, coaches need to be professional, and they need to be up to date on legal mandates and ethics that relate to behavioral health. We want coaches to be fully immersed into this behavioral health space, and they need to be apprised of all of these things. And then, as with any job, we want coaches that are good at communication. You're going to be responsible for some of the most sensitive matters that relate to children and youth, and this requires good communication skills. You're communicating across generations. You're also communicating to other healthcare workers, and you need to be able to do this accurately and with the right level of discipline in each case. Then finally, we want coaches that are able to operate in different environments. Children and youth exist in many different environments, not just schools. And we want a coach to be able to work in each of these environments with the same level of professionalism and cultural responsiveness. Okay, next slide. So here I'm going to go through each one of the core services provided by the Certified Wellness Coach. The first is wellness promotion and education. So, and for wellness promotion and education, wellness coaches are educating students and children about the benefits of wellness and how to stay well as an individual. And what this can look like is classroom presentations. You can lead campus wellness activities. You can do promotion activities that help address mental stigma amongst our children and youth. You're also going to need to build relationships with students, staff, and parents at the school site, and also across all different settings that a wellness coach can work at. You're also going to serve as a wellness coach, as a wellness champion on campus. So you're going to practice what you preach, and students will be able to learn from your example. Second core service is screening. Children and youth need to be screened for behavioral health issues early to be able to detect these problems and to address them early enough so that they don't develop clinical issues later on. So as a wellness coach, you will help implement universal screenings in schools along with other care providers. And you can do this by, as I said, implementing universal screening in schools, doing targeted screening to specific groups that may have a higher need, And triaging students. You might be the first person to detect that an issue is happening, and you might need to determine what level of support a student needs, and you can direct them towards that level of support if needed. And you're going to help develop these school-wide screening and promotion activities based on screening data. So next we have care, coordination, and extension. What this is really about is students have a variety of needs at various different levels of care. Some of them just need your services. Some of these students are going to need help from other providers. And you're really going to be that trusted individual that links them to all of these providers and assists their other providers in implementing care plans. So what this looks like is case management work, navigating external barriers, so scheduling conflicts, communication across culture, simply reminding children and youth that they have an appointment, and addressing transportation barriers, like getting somebody to the appointment that they need to get to. You're also going to be representing students to staff. You might have to be the thing that links the student to any number of staff on campus that don't understand their individual issues and may need to be able to care for that student or teach to that student properly. You're also going to need to develop strong relationships with internal and external partners. So some schools work with outside agencies to support youth, and you will need to be able to work with them. And you're also going to need to be able to advocate on behalf of your students. Next, we have individual support. This is 15 to 30-minute check-ins to address issues with students that have mild behavioral health symptoms. So what this looks like is check-in and check-out systems at schools, individual support for mental health education, how to build healthy relationships, and other topics. You can also provide emotional support to students and identify when these students need a higher level of emotional support, like a licensed clinical social worker. You can also assess students. So there are certain drivers of health and other concerns that you will need to identify using non-clinical assessment tools. And you might want to monitor student participation in these care outreach systems. So students might have care plans, and you'll need to monitor their participation individually. This kind of links to the care coordination and extension. And finally, you can conduct motivational interviewing for people that have substance use or other risky behavior issues. Slide. The fifth core service is group support. So it's basically everything I just said about individual support, but for small groups. So you can be leading skill building groups, do culturally specific or gender specific group supports. You can support therapeutic groups or co-facilitate peer-to-peer programs or facilitate restorative justice circles or serve as a coordinator for a wellness center. And you can also oversee student workers at the wellness center. Finally, is crisis referral. This is important. Wellness coaches are not clinicians. They should be doing clinical work, but some of the students that you're going to encounter are going to need clinical support because, the system has failed them or they're at a place in their life where they really do need that additional help. And it's going to be your job to refer that student to the level of care that they need. Next slide. And I'm going to pass this over to Luke. He is a program officer here at HCAI, and he's going to talk to you about the scholarship and the key dates associated with it.
Thank you very much, Christian. Again, my name is Luke Ennis. I am the program officer for the Grants Management Division here at HCAI. I'll go over the program elements and key dates for the Wellness Scholarship Program. Next slide, please. So to the eligible professions for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program Awards. So to be eligible for this scholarship, the applicant must be planning to become a certified wellness coach, either seeking an associate degree for Certified Wellness Coach 1 or a bachelor's degree for Certified Wellness Coach 2. We do have a list of specific degrees required to become a Certified Wellness Coach on our grant guide, so feel free to visit that for that list. And just to note, a community college certificate is not sufficient to become a wellness coach. Next slide. We do have a list here of the eligible associate and bachelor degrees, basically any addiction studies, human services, and social work programs that we have. So again, please visit our grant guide for all for the full list of those specific programs. Next slide, please. Awards. So the maximum award for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program is for $35,000 for a 12-month commitment. The award levels, the HCAI, so HCAI may award a full, partial, or no funding to an applicant based on the applicant's criteria score and the amount of available funds. And applicants will be awarded no more than the total cost of attendance for 1 year of the program. So these costs can include tuition fees and books, transportation, on or off campus housing and food, loan fees, and dependent care. Also, applicants will report their cost of attendance amount within the scholarship application by completing our cost of attendance form. I'll show an example of that on the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So this is an example of our cost of attendance form here at HCAI. You'll see on the left of the form, you'll see the different categories. Then the middle row will contain all the details, and then you'll put your annual cost on the far right of the form. You'll also want to put your total down here of the sum of all the annual costs. Please make sure to include your name here at the bottom of the form, and also your date. When reviewing these forms, I see that those forms do not include the form or include the name and the date. So please make sure you include that for full acceptance of the form. You can view the form here in this link for further reference. We just ask that you please ensure that the costs on this form reflect your real costs, not the cost estimates that your school produces. And also, finally, if your rent is $1,500 a month, then your yearly cost of housing is $18,000. Next slide, please. Service obligations. So again, it is within 12 months of graduation. Awardees must find employment that fulfills a 1 year of service obligation, providing direct client care and a qualified work site. Students graduating with an associate degree may defer their service obligation for up to 30 months if they are pursuing a bachelor's degree leading to become a certified wellness coach too. Next slide. And then here's some key dates regarding the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. Again, the application has been available since July 8th, and the application submission deadline for this cycle is due August 16th, 2024 at 3:00 p.m. We do anticipate the award notice dates in October of 2024, and then finally our scholarship grant agreement start date would be November 1st of 2024. Next slide, please. Next, I'll go over the application process for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. So we do have several components. The application has 9 sections. The first section is for general information. Then we ask for then it's profile information for the second one. Third is contact information. We do ask that you have one contact required. Educational information, professional information, the scholarship cost of attendance, the form that I previously mentioned, the employment history, required documents as well. We ensure that you use an acceptable file format or your application will be rejected. So examples of acceptable formats are either a JPEG, a docx, and a PDF form. And then finally, the application certification. So another thing too is if you have any questions, you can always contact us by email with any questions or problems regarding the application. The email address is bhprograms@hci.ca.gov. We do have staff that will readily answer those emails in a promptly fashion. Go ahead. Next slide. So post-awardment and payment provision. So HCAI expects the grantee will begin performance of the grant agreement on the start date listed on the grant award documents. So this means that we assume that you'll begin school in September 2024. And also the state controller's office mails a paper check directly to the grantee's address on file. So please ensure the HCAI has your most current address on file to avoid delay in your payment. Next slide. Also, HCAI cannot provide tax advice to grantees. Us here at HCAI are not tax professionals, and tax consequences may vary depending on the grantee. So for this reason, grantees should seek professional tax advice for any tax-related questions they may have. HCAI also reserves the right to recover monies for a grantee's failure to perform service and other grant agreement obligations as well. Next slide, please. Finally, I'll go over the evaluation and scoring procedures for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. So evaluation criteria for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program include the following: income-based financial situation, experience in working in an underserved area or with underserved groups, experience with homelessness, also experience with the foster care or child welfare system, also if you're a first-generation college student or not. Languages spoken, in any languages that you may speak, you can add that on the application. And finally, academic setting, preferences given to attendance at a California community college, a CSU or a UC campus. Next slide, please. And then we do have grant application resources. So you can review the Wellness Coach Scholarship Grant Guide, Program Grant Guide before starting the online application. That's available on our website and the link there. We do also have you can also review the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program Technical Assistance Guide before starting the online application as well. Again, our online application is available via the link and on our website. For more information, you could also email us directly at bhprograms@hcai.ca.gov for behavioral health programs. And then you could also check out our HCAI's funding eligibility tool on our website as well. Next slide, please. Finally, Certified Wellness Coach resources. So you can review a sample job description or role. Please visit the Employer Resource Guide for that information, specifically pages 13 through 19. And then we also have the Wellness Coach website with information, resources, and certification application. That's available at ca.wellnesscoach.org. Next slide, please. Perfect. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Chris Rowena, our communication analyst, for question and answers.
Thank you so much, Luke. As you can see, our team has put a lot of work into this program, and we're so excited that you've joined us today to learn more. We are going to transition to our question and answer session, and we'll be opening up the chat option for you to be able to put your questions in that chat. You can access the chat feature at the menu bar at the top of your screen. We do ask that you use the chat feature. There's too many people in this webinar for us to go through and answer questions through the hand raising and microphone system. So it also helps us capture your questions better for taking back to us. We do understand that some of you may not be able to access the chat feature in the browser version of Teams due to your organization's restrictions. Some find that the mobile version does provide chat access. If you are still unable to access the chat feature, please email your questions to bhprograms@hcai.ca.gov, and we'll make sure that your questions do get answered. We do want to help out and make sure that we answer all of the questions that you guys have today. So thank you for understanding on those technical limitations. We will be answering questions in the order that they are received, and we'll do our best to answer all the questions that you have. And lastly, just wanted to do one more reminder on who this webinar is for. I will go back to that slide. We want to make sure that it is clear that we are talking specifically about the scholarship program that we have for wellness coaches. And so this is for if you are able to, there we go. If you're a student starting or continuing in college to earn an associate's or bachelor's degree in social work, human services, or addiction studies, this scholarship is for you. And if you already have your degree, again, you may be eligible to become certified already, and go to www.cawellnesscoach.org to find that information. I believe that link is pinned in the chat, and you can see that. Also, if you have a question about wellness coaches on a more broad level, please email us at wellnesscoach@hci.ca.gov, and we will be able to answer your questions on that. So I'm going to jump into questions right now, and we're going to have Luke and Christian jump back on to answer as our experts in-house. And so we're going to just jump in on the first question here. Josephine asks, do you know when I can expect to receive an approval or denial letter for the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program Cycle A? Since we're approaching the end of July, I am wondering what the approval and distribution timeline will be for the scholarship program. Thank you.
I'll take that. So I'll defer to Luke or somebody in grants on the specific timeline of when that award is going to be issued. For everybody else here, we had a cycle of this scholarship previous to this one. This is the B cycle, or the second cycle that we're running this year. We will be providing to all applicants, regardless of cycle, a financial aid letter that we will give to every single awardee, that they can take to their financial aid office that states, we're going to be giving you this money, and this will make sure your financial aid office doesn't, drop you from classes or otherwise makes it to where you can't sign up for future courses, because we will be telling them, hey, this student their fees are going to be covered. It just, the government takes a little bit too long sometimes, and they'll have their funds soon. But I'll defer to grants on the actual timeline of awards on Cycle A.
Regarding Cycle A, we should be able to notify grantees award status by sometime during August of during August of this year.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christian and Luke, for those answers. And next question, Karen asks, what year do we have to be in order to apply?
You said what year, Chris? Is that the question?
Yep.
So you can be in any year, as long as you, by the time that the grant guide states you are enrolled in a program, you can be eligible for the scholarship, as long as it's within one of the eligible degree programs. But we're not like privileging a senior or a junior or a sophomore or a freshman. If you're in school, you're definitely eligible.
Awesome. Next question is, can master's students apply too?
No.
All right. And next question is, anthropology an acceptable degree or major?
It is not.
Okay, next question. Lita asks, how does the scholarship work if the semester begins before November?
So you're awarded for expenses that occur in the fall semester or quarter of this year. You might not have the funds by November, but the funds can be used retroactively to pay for fall quarter and fall semester.
All right, thank you. Next question. What is the difference between this career pathway and the state certified peer support specialist? This is a non-clinical role, but is the goal that this is a pathway for clinical work?
Anne, can you answer this question?
Happy to. I'm Ann Powell. I work in policy along with Christian. And we do not use this program to support peer support specialists. There is another grant program that just closed, unfortunately. This and the peer support specialist doesn't require a college education, whereas the wellness coach certification does. So the importance for us today is to give you the opportunity for financial assistance so that you can attend college and get certified with an associate or bachelor degree in social work, human services and addiction studies. So any of those 3 degrees. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you, Anne. Next question. Does each person in the organization need to apply, or do we apply as one?
So this scholarship is only for individuals. So you can't apply, like, say, for everybody in your organization and then award like 6 scholarships to all the 6 people in your organization. Each individual person has to apply for an individual scholarship. And the scholarship is for those attending college right now, or who will be attending college by spring quarter or semester of this year. Actually, technically next year.
All right, thank you, Christian. Let's see. I am getting my bachelor's degree in social work and want to continue on to my master's. Is that something I can do while working as a wellness coach?
So I mean, as with any job, you could be working as a certified wellness coach and be pursuing your master's degree. That's certainly true. The scholarship does not support people getting their master's degree, though. So you would not be eligible for scholarship funds in support of your master's degree.
All right, thank you. Jennifer asks, excuse me, skip the question. Shales asks, what website do we go to for applying? And you can find all of the links pinned in the chat at the very top of the chat, including the link for applying. It's the link to application is the one that you will want to use to go ahead and do that. Anything you want to add on that, Christian?
Nope. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Let's see here. Next question. If someone is transferring to CSU or UC within 60 units but not an AA degree, should they apply now even though they would not graduate for 2 more years?
So if you're transferring to CSU, the question would be, what degree are you seeking at that CSU? And are you currently enrolled in that CSU? If by, I think the grant guide states January 31st. If by January 31st, you would be taking classes at that CSU and you're enrolled in an eligible degree program, you would be eligible for the scholarship and you should apply now.
All right, thank you, Christian. Let's see. This question says a bachelor's degree will generally be 2 years to obtain, and my understanding is the scholarship only covers 1 year of study.
Yes, that's true, but our intention is to have another cycle next year. Obviously, we don't control the budget situation that the state is in, but currently there is funds invested for a scholarship cycle to run next year as well.
Perfect, thank you. Jennifer asks, can you describe the field experience expectations? Would a BSW student's required internship hours count?
Yes, that's the intention of the field experience requirements. And that's also why we have social work as an eligible degree, because you will most likely have a class that is required for your social work degree that provides you the field practicum hours that are necessary to become a coach.
All right, thank you. Let's see here. It is stated that a community college certificate is not sufficient, but is that what you were comparing an AA degree from said school or an overall AA degree from a CC will not be approved?
So there's a distinction between a certificate from a community college, which is just a certificate, that's all it is. And then there's an associate's degree from a community college. Now, some programs provide a certificate and a degree. And if that's true of your program, as long as the degree is an eligible degree, then that is eligible for the scholarship. And then once you have that degree, it is also eligible for certification. So this is particularly true in addiction studies programs where a lot of the times you will get a certificate and you will get a degree. But the certificate is not what makes you eligible. It's the degree.
All right, thank you for that clarification, Christian. Next question from Karen: is there scholarship awardees expected to work full-time in the wellness coach role?
So as a part of the service obligation, that's that you have to start within a year after graduation. We expect you to work full-time for a year, or you can work half-time and work 2 years. And the definitions for what we define as full-time and half-time are contained within the sample grant agreement within the grant guide.
All right, thank you. Jody Brown asks, is this scholarship available to be utilized with Title IV-E in social work?
And do you know?
Let me answer that. Trying to get my mouse. No, it does. Yes and no. You could be getting a bachelor in social work under Title IV-E, but because it depends on if you're heading for a master's. Because if you're in a master's program, it wouldn't be qualifying.
All right, thank you, Anne. All right, this is an interesting question. I already have a master's degree in counseling, but the Board of Behavioral Science in California required that I take an additional 9 credits of courses because I have an out-of-state degree, which I am doing this fall semester. Am I eligible?
It's very sad, and also sadly, you would not be eligible for funds because this only funds undergraduate degrees.
Thank you. Let's see. Next question. I'm in the process of obtaining an AA in social work, and I've been advised that in process of being dropped as classes start August 24th. Enrollment fees are a hardship for me. So what should I do?
Can you repeat the question, Chris? Sorry.
Yeah. This one is from Sophia Thompson. I'm in the process of obtaining an AA in social work, and I have been advised that I'm in the process of being dropped as classes start August 24th, 2024. Enrollment fees are a hardship for me, so what should I do?
I would email me, because that's a particular hard case, because if you're going to be dropped before the semester even begins, yeah. We probably wouldn't be able to confirm an award before August 25th. I mean, I'm almost sure that we couldn't because the cycle ends on August the 16th. So we wouldn't be able to provide that letter, but we might be able to work something. Just please email us at that BH programs email.
All right, thank you. And Sophia, thank you for that question. Go ahead and email us, and we'll do our best to help you out. Let's see. Next question. Here's Sophia, another question. Will this video or webinar be available to be rewatched at a later time? Yes, it will be. We are recording this webinar, and we will be posting it on our website and emailing it out to registered attendees in the next 7 to 10 business days is our typical turnaround for that. All right, if I already have a bachelor's degree, what will I need to complete the wellness coach application? That's go ahead and go to our cawellnesscoaches.org site, and that will lay out the process for you there. All right. And we did repost all of those links in the chat, so if you're having a hard time seeing them at the top, you can scroll down and find them in there. Let's see. And again, we are looking to answer just the questions on scholarships today. If you do have other questions, please email those to us at the wellness coach inbox for anything that has to do with the program as a whole and certification. Certified health coach, certified wellness coach, are they the same?
No. A health coach is a different profession with a cacophony of different certifications associated with it. A certified wellness coach is a behavioral health position, so not generally not a medical position, but a behavioral health position that is only certified through HCAI through the state of California.
All right, thank
And
you.
Chris, I want to
What?
call out a previous question from Tina Stafford,
Okay,
who
thank you.
said, I understand that, but my ultimate goal is to be an LCSW. Can I still apply and work as a wellness coach while pursuing that? So I want to address this concern because for a lot of people here, your ultimate goal might be to get that master's degree and be a clinician. And the vision of this job, the certified wellness coach, is that this can be a bridge job into that clinician workforce. So if you are here and your ultimate goal is to be a clinician, of course, you have to get your associate's degree and bachelor's degree first. And if you need funding support to get that associate's degree and that bachelor's degree, as long as you're willing to take a pause on your education and work as a wellness coach, serve that service obligation after you get an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, you're eligible for these funds. And we're not asking you whether you're wanting to be a wellness coach for the rest of your life. I mean, many of us here have changed jobs multiple times, but we're just asking that you work that 1 year of service obligation for this 1 year of funding. That's it.
It's a great note. Thank you, Christian. All right. Continuing on, Lita asks, if you live in California and you're attending a university online, Western Governors University in this case, the major is Health and Human Services, should I still apply?
So Health and Human Services is not a human service. Human Services is a very particular degree that's normally at the associate level that is very closely related to counseling. So Health and Human Services tends to be this like broad umbrella of degrees that have to do with allied health and a number of things. So you have to have a degree that's in that behavioral health track that is a human services degree.
All right. Thank you, Christian. All right. Catherine asks, I work in peer support and I'm trying to learn more about this opportunity, but since this is not geared toward peers, what is the application that just closed? Our workforce is losing funding, so this new career raises some concerns for me personally. What can you say about this?
I will give this to Anne if she would be so kind.
Sorry, I missed the end of the question, Chris. Sorry, I was answering on mine.
Yeah. Catherine asks, I work in peer support and I'm trying to learn more about this opportunity, but since this is not geared toward peers, what is the application that just closed? Our workforce is losing funding, so this new career raises some concerns for me personally. What can you say about this?
So we have a funding stream already for peer support personnel, that opens once a year, and it's for organizations to recruit students to training programs. That's different than this opportunity today, which is for college-bound individuals or individuals already in college. I would say that the experience of a peer support specialist could make you well qualified to be a wellness coach and would encourage you to think about doing that. And we'll drop the link back in the chat again for wellnesscoach.org, so you can learn more about the profession.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate what Anne said there. This is certified wellness coach is meant to be another rung or part of the career lattice of behavioral health. And that means you can stop at that ladder, stop at that rung, and then go be a licensed clinician. You can also go from a peer support specialist to be a certified wellness coach. That's a part of the vision and giving more people career opportunities in behavioral health.
All right, thank you both for that answer. Yeah, for anybody that's still unsure, please go check out that CAWellnessCoach.org to if you're still trying to understand what a wellness coach is and does, and if it's the right career path for you. There's lots of resources there for you. Right. Jessica asks, how will we have to submit proof of working as a certified wellness coach?
I don't know what this is in reference to, if I'm being honest.
This is a
But
certification question.
okay.
Yeah.
So in the certification process, one, it's your field experience is not working as a certified wellness coach, because you likely have not been working in a position called certified wellness coach because we've just created that title. It's working with children and youth in the behavioral health space. And the way you'll submit proof of that is through our certification vendor. And your field experience supervisor or your boss at your current job is just going to verify for us your hours and competencies. But if you want more details on that, I would go to cawellnesscoach.org, and there's an email there that's specific to questions about our certification process.
I just want to clarify. I do believe this question is related to proving the service obligation as well. So if we can, so that's the answer that Christian just gave us is for the certification process. But as a scholarship awardee, demonstrating their service commitment, fulfillment. Luke, do you want to answer that part of the question?
Yeah, actually, Clinton, do you by chance have any
Clinton.
insight on that?
Hello, everybody. My name is Clinton. I'm a program manager. Yes, when you are awarded for the scholarship, what will happen is that in your profile, we will insert what's called an employment verification form. And so we will need you to come have that form completed by your employer just to check off to say that, yes, you've worked in the service from this date to this date. And then when you submit that in, that basically proves that you've resolved your obligation with HCAI. And so then you're off the hook. You're clear once you provide us that form.
Thank you, Clinton. All right. Bridget asks, if I'm graduating next semester with my associate's degree, would I qualify? I am cross-enrolled to Chico State with the goal of joining the social work program in the spring of 2025.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Chris? My apologies.
No worries. If I am graduating next semester with my associate's degree, would I qualify? I am cross-enrolled to Chico State with a goal of joining the social work program in the spring of 2025.
So if by next semester, you mean you're going to graduate after the fall semester, that'd actually be a grants question. I'm going to ask Luke or Clinton to answer that one. I don't recall the dates that we have on the grant guide.
Sorry, the dates for what again? My apologies.
So we have a date on the grant guide that states when they can, when they have to graduate after. Do you recall that date?
I don't have that information readily available. Clinton, do you by chance have that?
There is no date.
Okay.
That goes back to what Christian said earlier about you could start your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And so we can't say when you have to have graduated. All we can say is you need to enter school by January of 25.
I found the date. So you do have to graduate after April the 1st of next year. So if you're just seeking funds for just fall quarter or just fall semester, you're not eligible. But as long as you graduate after April 1st, we don't tell you when you need to graduate by.
All right. Next question. This person is asking, is there a number, a limit on the number of, I put stipends, but I think they mean scholarships. Is there a number on the limit of scholarships?
It's capped the funding we have available, which for this program is quite substantial. Clinton, if you would like to add anything to that.
Hi, everybody, it's Clinton, again, the program manager here. We got a lot of money to spend. We already opened up a cycle a few months ago, and everybody who applied, everybody who's eligible, has got a really, really good chance of getting an award. And we still got a ton of money left over. So there is a lot of money. So if that's holding you back from applying, I would encourage you to jump on the website and give it a shot. We got a lot of money to spend.
All right, thank you, Clinton. All right, I do see there's some questions still about the Wellness Coach program as a whole, such as how does a program become approved to hire certified wellness coaches? Please email us at wellnesscoach@hci.gov to be able to answer questions like that. Next question, what facilities or organizations will qualify for the 1-year work requirement?
Those organizations are listed in the grant guide. Oh, I don't know them off the back of my head.
Follow. Oh, Luke, you want to answer that?
My apologies. The question again?
What facilities or organizations will qualify for the 1 year of work requirement, the service obligation?
Let's see here. Clinton, do you have any insight on that?
As Clinton again, the program manager. Christian was correct. We do cite that in the grant guide. There's several criteria, so I would strongly encourage you to review the grant guide if you're considering this. It is posted on our website, so in case you get lost and you see all these websites everywhere, the most important one to remember is hci.ca.gov. That gives links to all of our information, our grant guide, our technical assistance guide to help you navigate through the application, a link to the application itself. And then eventually we'll post this webinar in there, and there's a lot of additional resources, including that to the wellness coach information. So like if you can only remember one website, hci.ca.gov.
All right, thank you, Clinton. Follow on to that, would self-employment working with youth that qualify as would that qualify as employment for the commitment to employment?
If by self-employment you mean that you're an independent contractor with no supervision infrastructure over you, then it would not. A certified wellness coach has to have appropriate supervision in order to do their job correctly. If earlier I mentioned crisis referral and the ability to refer up to another behavioral health provider. Well, you have to have supervision of somebody who can actually provide that level of care. But if you're not supervised, you couldn't actually do that. So if that's what you meant by self-employment, then no, that is not an eligible place to serve your service obligation. If by self-employment you mean you run your own nonprofit and then you have a wellness coach and then you have some supervision structure in place, maybe, but likely the case that a self-employed individual would not be able to provide a service obligation as a self-employed person.
Thank you for that clarification, Christian. Next question, Abigail asks, with my school for the Title 4E program for social work, we would need to secure employment after 6 months after graduation. How would that work for this program for the 1 year of service after graduation?
I'm going to kick that to Anne.
Your obligation to Title 4E would precede this grant opportunity, this scholarship timeline.
Yeah. So in general, unless we've specifically stated otherwise in the grant guide, which I think for this program, we don't have any exceptions. You cannot have other service obligations from other programs and then combine that service obligation with our service obligations. You must The only time you can have a multi-year service obligation is if you applied with us for the same program 2 years in a row. That's the only time that you can have service obligations twice.
All right, thank you. How does serving as a wellness coach coincide with a social work job?
I'll punt that to Ann again.
They're very similar jobs. The important distinction is that you're working one-on-one or 1-4 or small group size with students, or doing student lectures in a classroom. The difference is you're serving kids directly, whereas a social worker could be doing any number of tasks in an organization.
Thank you, Ann. Let's see. Scrolling to find the next question. This is a good question. How many times can you apply for and receive the scholarship? Oh, has it? That's been answered?
I'll just restate the answer. We don't cap the amount of times that you can apply for the scholarship currently.
All right, thank you. Let's see. I am a transfer student at CSUSB, and I'm in the social work program. I'll start my bachelor in social work this fall. Is this certificate for after I get my bachelor's in social work? Can I apply this year? Can I qualify for this certificate? I'm interested in this certification.
So if you're currently in school, you get a bachelor's in social work, and you'll start it this fall. First thing off, you're eligible for the scholarship and you should apply, because this is money that will be able to help you. Secondly, you're correct in stating that you should be getting certified as a wellness coach after you receive your degree from your school. So after you graduate with your bachelor's degree in social work, you can apply for certification. You can apply this year, and again, you will be eligible for certification once you graduate.
All right, thank you, Christian. Let's see. Did I get to the end? Okay, very good. Let's see. I am starting school in the fall at a 4-year university in fall for child development. Then upon graduation, becoming a clinical counselor in a master's program. Am I eligible for funds in the fall or wait till the master's program? I think.
So for
Christian,
this program, you would not be eligible for funding for this program for either scenario, because my understanding, you have an undergraduate program in child development, and whether you're in that or graduated already, this would not fund that. And the scholarship also doesn't fund any master's degree programs. It's only for undergraduate programs in social work, human services, and addiction studies.
All right. Let's see. Sylvia asks, what if you tried to gain employment but has not found employment within the year? What happens?
I'll kick this over to Clinton, but I will just say that we think that this is highly unlikely, given the fact that our experience is that people do become employed when they have service obligations to our scholarship. And this scholarship actually gives you more time than we would normally give an individual to become employed. Normally, we give them 6 months. This scholarship gives them a whole year to become employed. But Clinton, what happens if for some reason that doesn't work out?
This is Clinton again. Yes, if you do not find employment, then what will happen is that will be a breach of your agreement, and so that'll be the expectation, is that if you don't find any work and you're given a long time to find a job, you'll be expected to pay back your obligation, the money that we provided to you. But there is a high demand for this career. There is a need for it, and so It is our hope that you won't come to this. But take this obligation seriously. So if we're giving you money, but that's the expectation, is that we were hoping to deliver more services to the state of California and fill this need that we have. So please take this obligation seriously and don't put us in that position. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just add that we're not just going to hand you this money and abandon you. We will have follow-up information, follow-up resources that will try our best to let you know about jobs that are existing. And we're going to be launching a LinkedIn page that links certified wellness coaches with potential employers. So we're not just handing you money and abandoning you.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Will working as a wellness coach count as supervised hours in social work?
That's an and question.
So supervised hours in social work count toward your degree, and it's the added benefit of accruing hours towards certification after you graduate and apply for certification.
Thank you, Anne. All right. We're running out of time here, so I'm going to do this one last question, and then we will close our question and answer session. What if someone has a BA in child development? Will they have to get a completely additional degree in one of the three degrees that you have mentioned?
So for those with a degree in child development, I would encourage you to check out the workforce pathway. There's two pathways to certification. The workforce pathway is for those who don't have the 3 degrees related to the scholarship. And there's an additional field experience requirements. The minimum is 1,000 hours of field experience for those with a degree in child development. But if you have 1,000 hours of field experience in behavioral health, then I would go to our certification website and check out those requirements, and you might be eligible right now.
All right. Thank you, Christian, Luke, Ann, and Clinton for helping answer those questions. As I said, we are out of time for going through any more questions. We do ask that you email us, and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for your participation with us. Please email us at bhprograms@hci.ca.gov with any remaining questions. As a reminder, we will post the recording of this webinar, and the slide deck is already online on our website, and you will see those. And now I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Shaw to provide some closing remarks.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you so much, everyone, for your participation and interest in this program. And you all asked some really great questions. But I want to thank our wellness coach and grants teams, and of course, again, to all of you for spending your valuable time with us today. We are hopeful that through this presentation that you see the impact of wellness coaches and how that they can make in our communities and in our schools, and that after today, you've received important information that will help you apply for this scholarship and make a valuable contribution to the health and well-being of our young people. On behalf of our team, myself, and HCAI executive leadership, we thank you. And I will now turn it over to Chris to wrap us up.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Well, we really do appreciate everybody joining us today to learn more about the Wellness Coach Scholarship Program. We're very excited to be able to offer it as a part of our health workforce development efforts at HCAI, and are grateful for your participation with us today. We do have some resources that we would like you to be aware of. You can follow us on a number of different ways. We have our presence on our website, and then you can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can see some hashtags that you can search for our content below. And additionally, we have a newsletter that we would love for you to sign up for, hci.ca.gov mailing list. You see that link at the top of our webpage is the subscribe button, and you can sign up to get a monthly newsletter on everything that we're doing and stay in the know about all of the happenings at HCAI. Please contact us if you have questions. You have a phone number, 916-326-3700, and the email bhprograms@hci.ca.gov, which you've probably heard 300 times today, because we want to answer your questions and we want to help you out. Please discover all of the great resources that HCAI offers. And as a reminder, the application cycle closes August 16th. That's an important date to remember. We do have the funds available, and we're very excited about Wellness Coaches and all of you being a part of it. Thank you so much for attending. And with that, we conclude today's webinar. Have a wonderful day.